Test, test. Good. Welcome to WYCD Wicked. That stands for What You Can Do. Oh boy, do we have a fun one tonight. We're going to start with some post debate reactions. We're doing this whole intro as a video test uh, because I have some CNN anti conspiracies to throw your way. We're going to do a call in for anybody that wants to talk without pressure, and then, well, anybody who's on screen is going to be risking the entirety of their career in the public eye because it's Wicked Diversity Squad. That's right. We're going to be doing a little game show with a tagline of "Be real careful." The idea behind this game show, which has been percolating uh, uh, bouncing between the THC saturated lobes in my skull for some time is that look, we want to talk to everybody. We want everybody who's uh, who's on the internet to see value in what we're talking about. We're talking about progressive politics on this channel and what you can do to make the world a better place. Well, that's a conversation that should include everyone. Now, I happen to be of the belief that you can try to talk to people uh, and fail, but not be hated for it. I'm of the belief that it's actually okay to uh, to make a sincere effort and accidentally be insulting, so long as it's clear that you are trying. And so long as the person that you're talking to is someone you're talking to and not at. Hence, Wicked Diversity Squad is also a call in show. So, what we're going to try to do a little bit later, I'm planning around 8 o'clock. So, if you're looking to have dinner first, by all means, go for it. But what we're looking to do is to make an appeal to groups who are not present, who are not currently on the stream and it's just say something that we think will interest them. And when we fail, inevitably, we open it up immediately after this attempt. We're going to open up the lines and ask people from that group to check in and let us know how we did, and then, of course, invite them to stay and try to appeal to the next group, see if they've got the chutzpah, to go for that. So this is likely the last stream I'll ever be allowed to do, and I look forward, to going down in flames in front of your eyes and having that, at the very least, be an entertaining mess. But first, let's say hi to the Wicked community. Powered by StreamYard tonight, folks. We're trying out a new system. Jamie, hello to you. The anti-corporatist, good to see you, my friend. Looney Tunes 9000, my word. I always get a little tickled when I see your name. Good to see you, my friend. He is likely the internet's most famous mod. At the very least, he's the most famous mod on the left. Hello, LT9K. Lightning Rod, hello. I like fun. Good. That's the hope, is that it will be fun. Pinkerbell, my friend from Texas. Good to see you. Hope everything's doing well. And let's get talking about the stream. Not the stream. Let's get talking about the debate and the stream that wasn't. So we're going through StreamYard now. And the reason for this is because it won't auto disconnect with video upload problems. Why am I telling you this boring behind the scenes stuff? Well, I think CNN wrongly caught heat for my going off air twice during the presidential debate. I was trying to do the same thing that the Majority Report did, which is just do an unmonetized stream and trust that it won't get taken off. Now, I can't speak for other people. CNN has a history of wrongly, in my opinion, unethically, taking down people who are restreaming the presidential debate. They did not do that with me. At least as far as I can tell, that was not the cause of my going off air. So first up, let me say thank you for the super chats I got. Pink, you were one of them. Thank you. Consider yourself super chatted tonight. So if you got something to say, just put in parentheses, and you want everybody to read it. Just put in parentheses first. I already paid you, and then say it, and I'll put it up. But yes. It seems to have been some sort of video issue on my end, as in the video bit rate was spiking really, really high for reasons I haven't been able to find. But I don't need to know the exact reason to know how to fix it. Fix it by maintaining my internet connection through a different service. That is StreamYard, which is a fine service. So to recap, CNN, not a great company, in my opinion, but also not responsible for taking down the presidential debate stream. And what a debate it was. Ooh, I want to talk about it. Ooh. So I gotta say, let's just calls it like it was. Yeah, brutal. Biden was terrible. It was terrible the whole time. None of this stronger in the end stuff. More coherent in the end, I guess, but not coherent enough at the end to not be a disaster. This dude, you've heard already. You've seen already. Garbage. Just garbage. That said, not nearly as bad as Trump. Marinate in that. A man stood on stage as the president, was incoherent, couldn't hold a thought in his head for a full 60 seconds. And I'm sympathetic to that, but I'm not the president. And yet, not as bad as the other guy. Why was the other guy worse? Well, he could hold a thought in his head for 60 seconds. The problem is the thoughts were terrible, abominable, awful, nightmarish thoughts that he was communicating. What I haven't seen talked about very much about that debate is what Trump was saying he was going to do. All right, let's start. Did he lie? Yeah, of course he lied. He lied constantly. What are the things he wasn't lying about? Well, he wasn't lying about stuff he said he intended to do when he got into office. So let's address that. He said he intended to go after Joe Biden. He said he intended to take retribution on the previous administration for not halting investigations into his crimes. That is what he said he would do. No one's talking about that. In terms of the election, I don't think that debate was bad for the Democrats. It was terrible for Biden. I hope he makes, in my opinion, the right decision and steps down. But even if he doesn't, because it's really just up to him, that's also been talked about. Even if he doesn't, it was made clear this is yet another election of who are you voting against. And Donald Trump made the strongest case I can imagine for Democrats to vote against him. That's what I took away from the debate. He made it clear. It wasn't said in so many words, but he made it clear the Project 2025 is happening. It's already been hinted at. Now he's being blatant about the fact that he intends to use the Justice Department corruptly to go after his political enemies. We just can't have that. That is literally the end of democracy in the United States. We don't have a strong democracy now. We will have no democracy if Trump is in power. That's my debate reaction. Well, that brings us to the what you can do about it. Support the presidential ticket of the Democrats. Sucks. It's not sufficient for fixing our democracy, but we don't fix our democracy on November 4th. We preserve our democracy on November 4th. We fix our democracy every single day from now until it is fixed by being in contact with our representatives, no matter who they are. Constantly show yourself to be an active participant in the political system. That's how we fix the democracy. Doesn't matter if you have a centrist Democrat. Doesn't matter if you have a progressive Democrat. Doesn't matter if you have a Republican. You fix the democracy by participating, contacting your representatives, voting in primaries, donating ideally to progressive campaigns, being loud, being present. Be a force that must be considered. Don't be a faction where other factions are allowed to assume things about you. That's how we fix a democracy. Ideally, right now, President Biden is having conversations with his staff and with donors, who is a more significant class to him than it would be to progressives, about getting off the ticket. Because I don't want to be blue MAGA here. Donald Trump was in office. It was terrifying because we didn't know what he would do. It's less terrifying with Joe Biden in office, but we have to admit, we also don't know what he'll do. Donald Trump failed to send the National Guard to the Capitol during January 6th because he was participating in that coup. Joe Biden might do it because he doesn't realize it's going on, because the coup happens too late in the evening. That's brutal, but that's the reality. So hopefully, if there is an advisor watching this who wasn't sure if they were going to speak up, if there is somebody who is going to later do a show that an advisor in the White House watches, here's your signal to tell them to speak up. We don't need one person to save us, but we do need one party to, because it's a two-party system. Tinkerbell, what can you do? Cry and then vote for Biden. It's all we have on this particular front. Correct. That's it exactly. It's all we have. It's all we have on this particular front. Yeah, the anti-corporatist. A lot of people think that someone is going to replace Biden on the ticket. Thank you. Like I said, I don't hold much hope for that. Yeah, I don't hold much hope for it either. I think you're quite correct. Uh, you can make all sorts of guesses as to why that will be, but it's all trying to read Biden's mind, and it comes down to the fact that it's Biden's decision, and it should be. It should be. At the point we are, people have already spoken, so it's got to be Biden and Harris. Now that said, it's well within the rules for Biden to decide to step down, and I have to disagree with the vast majority of other commentators that I've seen on the internet. I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. Americans have short memories, and that is both bad and good. It's good because we adjust really quickly to new norms. We've had enough wild stuff happening over the previous 8 years that we're going to be fine if there's suddenly a new ticket. But that said, and I'm going to piss off a lot of progressives. That said, I think the correct choice for replacing Biden has to be Harris. Reason is not because I like her. Although frankly, after Israel, I think she would do a better job than Joe Biden. I think she would do everything else the same except Israel. I do think she'd do a better job, just not much better. I don't think she would join any protests or embargoes against Israel, except that I think she might stop sending them weapons. There's a chance. So why does it have to be Harris? Because people voted for her already. It's that simple. She was one of two people that were selected. It was known that she would be called up to be the president if Biden was incapable of it. I think that extends to the presidential candidate if Biden is incapable of it. He's just shown he's not capable of it. I'll say this earnestly. This is despite living in Dearborn, Michigan. I think he's a good man. I think he's misguided. I think he's a good man who's fallen into supporting a genocide. But in his heart of hearts, I think he intends to do the right thing. He may do the right thing. But we'll see. All we can do is watch and suggest and express our opinions. But let's go back to the more important part of that debate and what I want to wrap up our debate talk, at least with me jawing at you with. Donald Trump made it clear he intends to be a dictator. That cannot be ignored. No matter how bad Biden was, it's more about Trump than it is about Biden. Donald Trump made it clear he intends to end democracy. We just can't handle it. We can't even handle a standard Republican for another 4 years. It's too late. Have you felt how hot it is? Look at the sweat still sticking to my body. I walked, not jogged. I walked my dog. And I look like I ran a marathon. Planet's heating. We have ecological disasters cropping up. We have new diseases in the US. What is it? Dengue fever? Yeah, new diseases in the US because of how bad the environment has become. Because we've had either people who ignore the problem, Democrats, or people who actively make it worse, Republicans. We cannot afford another 4 years of any Republican. And on top of that, Trump has said US will no longer be a democracy if he's in charge. We can't have it. That is where we stand. That is what was learned from the debate. Tinkerbell, our real feel right now is 108 degrees. Let's show that. 108 degrees. Imagine you're in your late 70s attempting to garden. It's a fun pastime for folks that have retired. You're in your 70s, you're trying to enjoy that. You walk out and you realize, while you are in that 108-degree temperature, that your life might be in danger. You might actually die pursuing the pastime of gardening. Even if you don't die, it sort of takes the fun out of it, doesn't it? We are making it illegal to be old. We're making it illegal to be weak in any way in the US. The Republicans are making a world where the only people who are allowed to exist are the rich and their minions. And they're trying their best to convince the minions of the rich that they'll be the rich ones. Hate to tell you this, but that's not how being rich works. You are only rich if you are one of the few. Republicans, you are making a world where you will be slaves. You've made it, frankly. You can't quit your job. You can't. If you have a family, you can't quit your job because your health care is dependent on your boss. You don't take a knee when your boss enters the room. If you don't bow down to them, they could fire you, and then your kid doesn't get insulin. You are required to drive a car everywhere, which means you must pay the car insurance companies. If you can't do that, you can't drive a car, you can't get to your job because there is no public transportation because that's what you voted for. And so, once again, your child cannot have the medicine they need to survive. That's the world you built, Republicans. That's the world we all have to live in that you fought so hard for. You got angry because an M&M mascot wore different shoes. You allowed that to guide your political decisions, and as a result, you are enslaved to your boss. Your child's life is dependent on how much you're willing to eat for your boss. That's the world you've made, Republicans. Quit voting for your own chains. Progressives, keep doing what you're doing. Do it harder if you can. The anti-corporatist, and not just that, but it turns out, you know what? I can just do this now. Oh, did the wrong thing. Anti-corporatist says, it's gorgeous up here in Nebraska. A little more humid than I would like, though. And not just that, but it turns out that wet, cold, critical temperature is lower than they thought. Humidity. Pinkerbell is right. It's all about that real feel. Yeah. What? Francesca, I think Fiorentini, had Nomiki and someone else on the other day, and apparently because of its tax status, Puerto Rico has completely gentrified. Jesus. And rents are up 1,000%. Brutal. Oh, wet bulb temperatures. That makes more sense. Yeah. I'm sorry, Puerto Rico. I am sorry. I'm sorry, whole world, that the U.S. hasn't had it together for the last 50 years. We are finally, at least, working on it. Oh, so I said we would do a call-in show and a video test. Let's try. Let's see if I'm able to send out a link. I need to figure out how I'm going to invite people. Here we go. Putting this in the chat now. If you want it, we're not doing Diversity Squad yet. Oh, there we go. We're not doing Diversity Squad yet. We're going to do that at 8. But if you want to call in and talk about whatever, if you want to talk about the debate, your thoughts, the upcoming election, maybe Jamal Bowman, maybe Israel, whatever it is you want to talk about, just click on that link there. We'll have a chat. This is we're testing out our new video capabilities. Hopefully, this will be a more regular part of the show because I think, frankly, the soul of WYCD is talking with the audience. Uh, I think you guys are what makes this an interesting show beyond my sweaty mug all the time. Speaking of, while we wait for people to call in, Jamal Bowman lost to George Latimer. That's a painful blow, frankly. Uh, uh, the reason it's painful, if you're not aware, Jamal Bowman was a progressive. He was a member of the squad, and I say was because he lost his primary campaign to George Latimer. George Latimer, this is in New York. He Let me give it better context. New York is a solid blue state, which means it's one of those states where we expect to see more progressives because we don't have to appeal to Republicans. Unfortunately, we saw what the bulk of the Democratic Party is. If you're not living in a city, if you're allowed, the closer you're allowed to live in, or the more you're allowed to live in delusion, the more likely you are to drift conservative. It's true in the Democratic Party as well. Jamal Bowman's district got changed up quite a bit so that he had to appeal, or he had a lot more, what do you call it, white flight voters to deal with. Well, they went for Latimer, and they went hard for Latimer. But here's the upside. AIPAC, the American Israeli, why do I always try to say it? The pro-Israel lobby, the pro-right-wing Israel lobby, the MAGA donating Israel lobby. They dumped 14.5 million into this campaign. The upside to this is we see the value of having progressives on the ticket. That's 14.5 million they don't have for races elsewhere. We saw the Overton window. We saw it. And we saw it drift towards us in that 14.5 million. They had to spend that amount to go from a progressive, let's say over here, to a conservative Democrat. That was terrible. Progressive to a conservative Democrat. They had to spend that to make it happen. That is better than from a conservative Democrat to a right-wing psychopath. Good. Keep bleeding these pigs. That's the hope, is that the more we fight, the harder it is for them to fight us. It's not ideal. George Latimer is going to not vote the way we want in a ton of ways. But he's going to vote better than a right winger would. He is going to take some party line votes. He is going to put the right Speaker of the House in. He is going to be more of a benefit than a out and out regressive would be. Regressive would be. Good. We'll beat him next time if we can. Hopefully, we'll have Jamal Bowman running again. If not there, somewhere. But I don't think we've seen the last of Mr. Bowman. Ooh. Well, Mrs. Jen, in another thunderstorm, thunder's been grumbling for like the last 5 minutes straight. It's a trip. That is a trip. My word. Uh, my sincere hope, speaking of, is that people don't get too bummed out with Jamal Bowman. One of the good things about the era we live in is finally there are multiple progressives getting into office. One of the bad things about that is it becomes more likely every election cycle that we'll lose some. Don't let that discourage you. You can let it anger you. Good. Take that anger, put it towards something useful. Take that campaigning you would have done for Bowman, campaign for somebody else. But don't let it discourage you. We're going to take a lot of hits. We might lose Cortez one day. We might lose my gal Rashida Tlaib. Never lose Rashida Tlaib. Not in my district. Hell no. But we might lose somebody. Keep rolling. Keep rolling. Keep running. Get yourself appointed somewhere if you can. If you don't feel that you are a good face of whatever the party is that you want to support, keep being a participant. Donate your time if you've got it. Donate your money if you've got extra. Keep supporting these folks. Constant pressure over time. Whatever extra you have to spare. That is the way to achieve change in the United States. Mrs. Jen, my husband wants to run. Put that up. Run. Literally, anybody who's showing up in these circles here, you're the kind of people we need in office. Doesn't matter if you have no idea how to do the job. It really doesn't. Somebody with zero experience and good intentions is better than what we currently have, which is people who are very experienced at carrying out their bad intentions. We don't need any more of those folks. And if you run and you lose brutally against one of those people, doesn't matter. You still did good because you drained their resources. Keep it up. Mrs. Jen says, I feel so small where I'm at here in this small town. Interesting. How do you feel small? It's yes. Miss Jen says, my husband is the anti-corporatist, right? Yes. When I said in this space, I should have clarified. AC is a longtime viewer of the channel. He's an OG Wicked community member and a good friend of mine. I'm a fan of, should I say the first name? Rhymes with Muck, but he is no law. He is. I need to think of a better. Rhymes with Truck. That one was obvious. Anyway, AC is a friend of the channel. Yes, as I was saying, run for something. It's a good thing. Oh, Miss Jen, I don't feel like I can do much to make any change here. I'm in a very red area. Well, let's talk about that. Yes, you certainly can. Here's a strange paradox. In red areas, far left progressives do better than centrist Democrats. It seems counterintuitive, I know. But you have to understand the really red areas right now are leaning more populist than they are Republican. Yes, they vote Republican, but the deep red areas, those are MAGA areas. That's more populist. And progressive messages work better with populists. In addition, there is very little defense these people have against progressive talking points. Fox News doesn't do a good job of preparing people to hear progressive talking points and how to ignore those. They do a great job of preparing people to hear Democratic Party talking points, but that's just centrist conservative. It's center right. That's what the Democratic Party is. So when they hear a progressive pitching progressive things, they don't have all that deep red buildup against progressives. Then you have to only deal with one thing. Are they satisfied with their current candidate? I bet they're not. And I bet if they are, even a little bit, you can shake that support that they have. You shake that support by pointing out the truth of what the individual is doing, the things they're supporting. So my only point is, if you're in a deep red area, yes, you have an uphill battle. Yes, you're less likely to win. Your candidate of choice is less likely to win. But by just participating, by that alone, you are draining nationwide the resources of a villainous organization. So that's good. And you have a better chance of winning than a centrist Democrat. You just do. For you, it's more like running in a purple area. Also, if you're a progressive and you're in a deep red area and you've picked a candidate that's going after somebody, it's a very good chance you won't have to deal with the other enemy of progressives, which is corporate Democrats. They're not planning on dropping any money into that race. Good. That means they're not dropping money against your candidate or you if you're the candidate. Good. Ooh, Looney Tunes 9000 released a new video today. I pointed Fox News out earlier today in my new video. Excellent. Tinkerbell, very well put. It's not about winning so much as it is exhausting the enemy. Yes. That is the benefit of a nationwide fight. Right now, Republicans have always had a money advantage ever since Buckley v. Vallejo. They have had a money advantage because corporations dump money into, well, let me put it like it is. The oligarchy dumps money into conservative campaigns. But right now they're dealing with President Trump pulling from their coffers to pay for his own insane legal expenses. They're dealing with the MAGA folks in general turning off a lot of investors. Even they're still going to get tons, but they're not going to get the same folks that they would get if they actually seemed like they were able to govern. And they're dealing with whatever fight the Democrats have in them. And that's where we can add. Right now, progressives and corporate Democrats are aligned, at least until November 4th. We are aligned in our fight against Republican fascism. So, every place we fight helps overall. Every single place we fight. We do not concede any inch of ground. And the arguments you make in favor of a progressive, even if they don't win out in this race, they will contribute to the decision made by the person you were talking to eventually. Eventually, that person will get sick of voting for the people that try to betray democracy, screw them over at every given opportunity, take credit for things they didn't do. Just make them aware of it. You are the anti Fox News. Oh, oh, wait a minute. The anti corporatist. I could run as a Republican. But my district already has strong Republican representation, namely MAGA Mary Miller and her husband. Ooh, challenger. Pinky's right. Pinkerbell says challenge her. I agree. I 100% agree. Because even though you won't win in the challenge, you're going to make her have to answer for all kinds of insane things she said. And you don't have to be charismatic. You don't have to have answers for everything or really anything. If you challenge her, your only job is to drag her onto a stage or drag her in front of the press to answer questions. If you get on the ballot as her challenger, the sole purpose of that is to get one interview. One interview. A local news person, somebody who will look like a kid to you, will eventually contact you and say, I hear you're running. Why are you challenging Mary Miller? To which you have to lay out the fact that she's a traitor. Lay out the things that are wrong with her. You don't even need a page long list. You need 3 bullet points. I'm running because she doesn't believe in democracy. I'm running because she wants to take away your health care. I'm running because she wants to cut Social Security. And those are things we can't have. Even if nobody believes you, even if nobody likes you, even if you get a tomato thrown at your head, what is still going to happen is that news reporter will contact Mary Miller and make her answer your accusations. and it will be awkward for her. And she'll have to buy ad time to counter that message. And she'll lie, and she'll probably get away with lying, but it will nonetheless tap into their resources and it will cost you nothing. And hell, with all of these, there's a small chance that the people of your district will wake up and say, Jesus, I didn't realize this person believed those things. I didn't like her responses. You know what? We're going with AC. In which case, then you've got a lovely job, and you're part of the ruling class, and hopefully you'll rule justly and make decisions that will give the people more power. Rex Trek, hello. Good to see you, my friend. Boomer toked and ready to go, I trust. Yes, sir. Good to see you, my friend. Rex Trek is another longtime viewer of the show. We love to see you, and we frequently see each other in outer space. Uh, all right, that's good. AC say, I'm running because I want to get murdered by my crazy MAGA neighbors. It's entirely possible. Pinkerbell says, the fact that these people slide into seats unopposed is criminally negligent. Wholeheartedly agreed. Wholeheartedly agreed. Yeah, it is. It's one of the things, and I'm no better. I didn't run this time around, but it's one of the things. Although I did, to be continued. I'm supporting local campaigns, but it's one of those things that future generations will look back upon us and question, and we won't be able to answer because, at least, we won't be able to give a satisfying answer because we failed. The fact that these folks ran unopposed, the fact that librarians weren't standing up left and right, teachers, cops that aren't evil, crossing guards, janitors, the bartenders, waiters and waitresses. Fact that there wasn't a mass change in our political system just from the new entrants alone will be a mark of shame. Oh, mercy me. Well, let's see this. AC saying, yeah, well, the Dems in Illinois gerrymandered ours into a very, very red district. Trump plus 52%, if I recall correctly. Yeah, it's not good, but it is. I look at that as, frankly, low pressure. I think the benefit to running in a deeply red area is that you really don't have to worry about winning. Well, if you don't have to worry about winning, you can say whatever you want. You know, just tell it how it is. You won't make things worse. They're already pro fascism. It literally will not get worse than that. So just tell the truth. Enjoy telling the truth. Use it as therapy. It'll be cathartic to be like, are you? It's shocking to me that this person isn't in a prison cell, Mary Miller. It's shocking to me that Republicans across the board have any jobs at all. You don't understand these are traitors. You understand that these are people that are literally voting to end life on planet Earth. That's not an exaggeration. That's what they vote for. They just keep trusting that they'll lose enough for Democrats to save them. They just keep trusting that the next generation will figure out some miracle to solve the problems they caused. That's what you're voting for. When you vote for a Republican, you're voting for someone who does not give a damn about you or your children or their own children or your grandchildren or their own grandchildren. They do not care. They don't care. All they care about is lining their own pockets. That's what a Republican is. They are a party full of con artists. And if you vote for Big Con, you are the kind of moron who deserves what you get. Don't vote for it. If you voted for them in the past, sorry, you got conned. The way to redeem yourself? Learn. They've never done anything to help anyone. They got us into 20 years of war, if you recall. They cause every recession. They give tax breaks to your boss and they pay for it by raising your taxes. And then they turn around and tell you they gave the biggest tax breaks in history. They did to your boss, never to you, because they don't care about you. And the way they get around that is they try to make you angry at groups that have nothing to do with your woes. People like me got to spend their whole time up here talking about how you're being lied to. You just need to realize you've been lied to. Now, here's a plan for how we make your life better. You get to do that. Deep red district, you don't have to worry about winning. You just have to worry about embarrassing your opponent. It's real easy to get mud on somebody if you don't mind getting mud all over yourself. Consider that. Trump is beyond 100 in Louisiana, says Looney Tunes 9000, due to the MAGA Republicans in the Bayou areas. I don't understand what you mean by beyond 100. But I take the general gist of what you're saying. He's highly supported in Louisiana. Yeah, it's the same problem. People trying to appease Trump supporters end up not talking to the people who are actually willing to be reasonable. And it's a kind of bigotry, frankly. Uh, Assuming that Trump supporters only want to hear Republican light things uh, assumes that they're incapable of hearing the truth. And you know what? Maybe you're right for 90% of them. Maybe you are. I truly don't know. But you're not right for 100% of them. And regardless, whether or not that's even true, you haven't even given them the option to hear of an actual alternative plan. Right now, the plan is to crash into the side of the mountain. Even if your plan is do a barrel roll, might not be the right plan, but it's better than what we're currently working with. At least acknowledge that there is a mountain and we are headed for it, and it's coming up real quick with global warming. Give them the opportunity, at least. If you're in a bright red district, you have an opportunity. You might change a few minds. Anti-corporatists, tell you what, I haven't had to flee the country because of the new Trump action. If I haven't had to flee the country because of the new Trump action, I'll run in 2026 or something. Yeah, fair enough. Also, look, it might be too late to run now. That's fine. It's the same philosophy for supporting a candidate. Just spend one weekend walking around for them, handing out, knocking on doors, and prepare to eat a lot of, prepare to hear awful things from people, and just be strong enough to hear that and move on anyway. Say, well, I'm willing to talk to you if you're willing to listen. I understand what you're saying. I'd like to tell you why I think you're wrong, etc., etc. Volunteering. That's it. You're not, again, it's the same philosophy. You're in a bright red district. You're not expected to win. You're expected to make some progress. You're expected to fight. That's all. Tire them out. Make those voters hear something different. You must control additional pylons. Yeah, try to get those pylons. Make them defend them. Man, I haven't heard that. We were talking about the original memes in the last Left Past 10. Now the old ones are cropping up for me. Oh, mercy. A quick reminder, I might pop over to our stream. There we are. A quick reminder that you can, I should probably pin this, huh? You can call in. Let me try that again. Hold up. Let me set this up. You can call in if you would like to talk about anything. We can go back and forth on any issue that you want. We're doing that until 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock is the premiere of Wicked Diversity Squad. Quick reminder for those that aren't aware, Wicked Diversity Squad, which again, that's not what we're calling in for now. I just want to be clear. But at 8 o'clock, Wicked Diversity Squad is this. I'm going to talk about something, hopefully, with other people up here. If not, it'll just be funny to watch me suffer. And then I'm going to do a poll. I'm going to do a quick little survey of who's on screen. And if somebody belongs to a group that is not represented, I put it in the wheel of diversity. I'll give you a little preview. Put it in the wheel of diversity. Yes, there it is. Let's get me off the screen there. Yeah, Palestinians, the Irish, Jews, Democrats, Sam Sita, Japanese, Republicans, Kenyans, etc., etc. Put up the wheel of diversity and spin that baby, and we will see what it lands on. When it lands on one of them, it's the person on screen's job to make an appeal to them, to say something that you think will be of interest to that group. In this modern era, I suspect it will be very funny to watch at least one honky sweat trying to appeal to a specific group. There's a very good chance this is the end of my career as a public as a public person. Good. It'll be fascinating to watch, no matter what happens. Bankerbell ripped off the Google logo, shaking my head. Yeah, a little bit. It does look rather chromish, I have to admit. But that's the idea. The idea is oh, excuse me. And after making that appeal, we will ask people from that group, whatever group happened to come up, to call in and tell us if we got it right or wrong. If nobody calls in, we'll just assume we nailed it. We'll just assume we nailed it, and we'll pat ourselves on the back, and it will be very infuriating. Yeah, that's Wicked Diversity Squad. I can't wait. 8 o'clock. What else happened in the news? Oh, yeah, Supreme Court. Good Lord. We had a wild news week, folks. Supreme Court did away with or did a ruling on the Chevron doctrine, essentially saying, for those that aren't aware, now when the government makes a rule about something, it will go to courts to decide how that rule is enforced. So, for example, if the EPA makes a rule and someone violates that rule, the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, won't be able to say, okay, the punishment is this. No. Now it will go to a court, and the court will decide if that rule was even violated. That will mean that conservative judges will basically, because conservative judges don't have any ethics, they will basically be overturning rulings that we the people decided on, rules that we the people decided on. If that sounds like it's a disastrous and huge change to the way our system of government works, it is. It's hugely destructive. Yeah. Looney Tunes 9000, fake SCOTUS. I mean, they're the real Supreme Court, but they are liars, but they are the real Supreme Court. SCOTUS loves taking things away. This is their setup for a dictatorship country. Yeah, it is. That's exactly right. What will happen with this is that we will get increasingly more decisions in from lower courts that undo major countrywide regulations on big businesses. Businesses will be allowed to put more plastic into our nut sacks, more chemicals in everything where there are supposed to be none added. We're going to be drinking the byproducts of factories unknowingly. We're going to be cleaning our babies' butts with things that will give them cancer in 10 years. And there will be no legal recourse for it. What can you do? Make sure a Democrat wins in November. Whoever winds up being on the ballot, doesn't matter how much you dislike them. Make sure we are putting in Democratic judges. And we need to get a law passed that specifically puts the Chevron doctrine back in place. Or rather, that specifically returns the decision-making power to the of enforcement of their own rules to the institutions that had them until this week. So the way to counteract a Supreme Court decision is put in a specific regulation. That is what we have to do. So it means winning in November. It means a massive blue wave in November. It means from now until then, you are doing everything in your power, including volunteering your time or giving money. Again, in your power does not mean beyond your power, but you're doing everything that is within your power, within your spare time and spare change to get Democrats in office. We, on this side of the aisle, largely disagree with Democrats when it comes to the specifics, I guess, of our governing philosophy. We don't believe in being neoliberal shills. We don't believe that we should live in an oligarchy, the progressives. But we do largely agree with Democrats when it comes to overall governing philosophy. We don't think we should live in an oligarchy. Democrats don't largely either. We don't believe we should live in a dictatorship. We believe that the institutions who make rules should be able to enforce those rules. Otherwise, what does the rule even mean? It is not a sin to vote for the lesser of two evils. I understand why you are probably sick of doing that, but we are not going to get to a place where we have the option to do otherwise until we are fighting solely the lesser of these two evils. We need to completely defeat the worst evil because they're doing great right now. And the behavior of the American people, and we've seen this through multiple elections at this point. When a right winger wins, the Democrats do not go further left. They jump to the right. If a right winger wins this time, it's in the presidency, there will not be further elections. There just won't. But if we get, say, Biden in the White House, but we lose the Senate, pretty darn close to game over as well. I would argue that the most important thing is actually the House and the Senate. It's to get Congress, and the presidency is a secondary thing. I'm just going to put that up there. Wholeheartedly agree with this opinion. Thank you, LT9K. So again, we're doing a call-in show, and I'm going to ask you for a favor. I know sometimes we get Tyler Hackner in here. I know sometimes we get some of the other cats from around the internet. This is a little bit cheeky, but as of now, I am going to open up Wicked Diversity Squad. Again, we're not starting now. Feel free to call in about other stuff, but I'm letting you guys know. I'm going to open up Wicked Diversity Squad to any of the people on the internet that you would like to come give it a try. So if you see somebody else streaming and you want to know how they do on Wicked Diversity Squad, let them know they're invited. They're welcome to try. This whole show, Diversity Squad, not going to be that long. Because I'm pretty sure what's going to happen is we're going to spin that wheel a couple of times, try and fail utterly fail to appeal to the groups that are currently on there. And then nobody's going to call it. But I am hoping that tonight we demonstrate that it's really not the end of the world. If you're sincerely trying to appeal to a group of people, that group of people won't hate you for it. They might correct you. They might tell you what you got wrong. But if your appeal is sincere, I think you're okay. That's what we're hoping to demonstrate tonight so that the next time we do it, people aren't going to be freaked out by the idea. But hopefully they'll be a little freaked out. Just a little nervous, you know. Now this is interesting. AC, we need an actual convention where they can get a candidate that actually excites people and isn't a member of the Walking Dead. Well put. Very well put. I thank you. Ooh. AC, I'm finishing driving in a little bit here, then I'll call in. Okay. Groovy. Well, we'll play. I'm looking forward to that, my friend. Don't rush it. It's all good. And and one group that will tell you you're being a dick. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Exactly. Like, say I were to try to appeal to black folks, and I said a thing that is actually a massive misconception that honkies have. I would hope that a black person would call it and be like, okay, I appreciate the effort, but here's why that is horribly misguided, and then correct me so that I don't do that in the future, and so on and so forth. Let's say I try to appeal to the Taiwanese people. Damn it, that's not even a thing. The Thai people. And I talk about, I don't know, a Tony Jaa movie because that's the only thing I can think of. Maybe they'll call it and be like, yeah, there's I mean, Tony Jaa's fine, but there's other things that happen in Thailand. That's the hope. Show the wheel again. All right, yeah, we'll show that wheel. Here is the wheel of diversity. As you know, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, wait, one, two, three, four. As you know, there's only 8 things in the world, and those 8 things are Jews, Democrats, Sam Cedar, the Japanese, Palestinians, Irish, Kenyans, and Republicans. Those are the only 8 categories of people that I'm aware of. So if one of those people is selected, that's who I'll try to make an appeal to. Now, uh, I'm going to open it up to you guys as well. Let me know if there's groups you think I should add to this wheel. The only caveat is it has to not be me. So I think we got white people and men taken care of. Uh, Other than that, it's gotta not be me. And it's going to get harder as we get more guests. It's going to get more and more specific as we get more guests. Because if they're already up here, then we don't need to spin for the representation. And yes, in case that sorry, I'm just laughing at the fact that the thumbnail is going to be me up here next to the word Jews and Democrats. Yeah. Uh, as more people are up here, more categories come off the board. So and it's going to get more specific. For example, Kenyans. It's just a specific country. Irish. There's another specific country. Palestinians. I consider that a country. And yes, you may notice Democrats is up there because I don't consider myself a Democrat. I frequently vote with them, but I do consider myself independent, and I am desperately looking for the first time I can either vote for something other than Democrat or vote for Democrats who are a fundamentally different organization than they currently are. Oh, Miss Jen, LGBTQ. I consider myself in that category, though. I mean, sort of. Let's do a poll. Hold up. I'm going to do a poll here. This is in the YouTube community. And I'm going to let you guys decide if I count as LGBTQ. Is Jake LGBTQ plus? Now don't vote yet, because I'm gonna give you the best breakdown I can of that situation. I think the issue with specifically LGBTQ plus, as opposed to lesbian or gay or bi or queer or math, is that it's too broad. It's just so broad. It's a bit like saying black people as opposed to Kenyans. If you were to try to make a pitch to black people, I can't stress enough. You're talking to people from Australia. You're talking to Aboriginals from Australia, separate category, as opposed to a black Australian whose family initially came from Jamaica. You're talking to people from Jamaica, people from Nairobi, people from all over. Your whole planet's worth of people. It's the same thing with LGBTQ. So what am I? On the one hand, I've only ever dated women, but on the other hand, I saw. Wait a minute. What's that movie? Oh yeah, I saw The Labyrinth. I mean, if David Bowie had asked, if he'd asked, he came to me and he said, "You want to have a role in the Hay?" Of course. Like, no hesitation. I would have Mick Jaggered Bowie like that. Are you kidding me? Uh, Now you may vote. So on the one hand, I've only dated women. Fair. On the other hand, I saw The Labyrinth. And I would have absolutely gone for it if David Bowie had only asked. Looney Tunes. Damn. Well, we have to figure it out for ourselves. Yeah. But listen, it's one thing to say you hypothetically would have. On the other hand, it's a very different thing to call yourself a representative of a community of people that presumably have. So I leave it up to you. Give me your honest opinion. I don't feel any offense either way. Is that LGBTQ or is it not? Let's see. I'm getting 71% yes. And now just to further affect the way you may choose to vote. This is, am I LGBTQ enough to knock that category off the wheel? It's a tough question, and I'm passing that burden on to you because I just don't know the answer. I genuinely am not sure if having a crush on David Bowie, now admittedly a legitimate crush on David Bowie, but I'm not sure if that's enough to qualify. So I leave it up to the wicked community. Well, oh, Miss Jen, I said no. Okay. Bob Carmody, you're an ally. All right. Yeah, absolutely. Tinkerbell, if that's how you feel and that's all that anyone else really needs to know, yeah, yeah. But here's what I wish. I've got a couple of friends who have actually done the deed with a member of the same sex, and I do wonder if they're going to want another go at that. But we'll see. I'm going to end the poll because it's pretty definitive. The answer is yes. Jake is LGBTQ enough to fill up a category on the poll. Good. Ah. Oh, here we go. No, it should probably go on the wheel, LOL, just because your experience is moving through the world as a straight dude. Now, that is a great point. That's a fantastic point. I think this is equally about passing. as it is anything else. For example, if you are wait, I can just take myself off the screen. For example, if you are Japanese, let's say, and Japan is going through a harsh time. For if it's the 1940s, but you look white. You got a white mom, let's say. You can pass and therefore not deal with the downsides of being Japanese at that particular time in U.S. history. It's a fair point. How about this? I got a suggestion. We can hate crime two birds with one stone. We can put the gays on here, right? Here, I'll switch Sam Cedar and gay. I'll tell you what I'm not with certainty. I am definitely not straight up gay, and I could even explain to you why. At a young age, I saw a photograph of Tyra Banks. Just like the labyrinth, there's no going back from that. Definitely not ruling out the potential that one day, Tyra may knock on my door and have wildly lowered her standards. So I'll put gay on the board. So that's another thing. We'll have to try to appeal to the people who are firmly in the gay category. Miss Jen, I've kissed a girl, but I'm not into them. You see, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about here. You know, it's 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 those interesting things we discover about ourselves when we're willing to have the conversation and discover about these categories. I think we'll also find that these categories are basically silly and that we're basically all just human beings and it's all fine. It's all fine. That's what I suspect the giant reveal will be. But we're going to find out in 2 minutes. Tinkerbell, Jake is a wizard now? Now Jake is a wizard? Son, Jake has always been a wizard. Stand by. Stand by. It's going to be worth it. I promise. We're starting Diversity Squad in 2 minutes. Not a grand wizard, but a wizard. One moment. Oh, thank God. Great song. That's Fever by Yellen. First of all, what I wanted to do was get my literal wizard hat and staff, which I use for LARPing purposes, but actual spells as well, let's just say for the sake of this gag, and put it on for the intro to Diversity Squad. But I couldn't find it in time. That had to fall flat. Gang, it's 8 o'clock. It's time for Wicked Diversity Squad. Yeah. So first up, oh my god, I might have pooched this. I literally just remembered something. Tinkerbell, I need to see the wizard gear. Tell you what, if I can actually locate it, you will see the wizard gear. It's a goblin hand staff. It's really cool. But you've seen me. I happen to know you've seen me in other LARPing outfits before. I think the nerd cred, at least, has been thoroughly, thoroughly established. I just realized something, folks. We might have to respin because technically I'm 25% Irish. I know, it's a shock. All honkies are a little bit Irish, I think. Mm, mm. Well, that's okay. Well, while I'm mulling this over in my head, I'm gonna set up Diversity Squad. Please give me, because it's 8 p.m. now. Please give me about 2 minutes to pin the chat and replay the intro. It's also for editing purposes. And then we're gonna get it started, and you're gonna watch me dance. But we'll do a free one to start. So I'm gonna try to appeal to full-blooded Irish as opposed to just 25% Irish. Isn't it annoying how many plastic Irish there are out there? I'm talking to people who are from Ireland. Isn't it annoying how many plastic Irish there are out there who try to take credit for being Irish only when it's fun? Only when it's fun. By which I mean people like this guy who get out of having Irish on their board because technically their great great grandpappies on a couple of sides were from Aaron's Isle. But they're not around when you're dealing with passports between England and Northern Ireland. Okay, there's my appeal. Irish, if I got it right, you're invited to come on in and tell me. If I got it wrong, you're also invited to come on in and tell me. But regardless, we're going to do another spin in a moment. And first, I'm going to replay our intro so that I have time to set this up properly. I'll see you in about 60 seconds. Welcome to WYCD Wicked. That stands for What You Can Do. My name is Jake, and this is Diversity Squad. Yes, indeed. Wicked Diversity Squad is a game show in which we attempt to appeal to groups that are not currently represented. Groups such as, well, not really the Irish, but kind of the Irish, Kenyans, Palestinians, Jews, Democrats, Sam Cedars, gays, Japanese, Republicans, and more. if you're from one of those groups and we try to appeal to you and we fail to appeal to you, well, you're invited to come on in and tell us if we failed. If we succeed, you're also invited to come on in and tell us if we succeeded. And then to participate if you so choose and try to appeal to the next group. We want to be diverse because diversity is strength. And these pythons, something something strength. The point is, we want to talk to folks. Without further ado, I'm going to take a whack at it. I'm going to spin the board and then I'm going to try to appeal to a group up here. Hey, wicked community, if you think somebody else should be up here, if you think there's another group that we should add, now's the time to tell me. So drop it in the comments before I spin. Let me know. Should I put another group on there? I will tell you some groups are not coming off. I really want to make sure that we get the Sam Cedars of the world represented. But there are groups that we're happy to add. Let me know in letter hacks of the world for sure. Yeah, letter hacks are on there now. Let's see if we got anything else. Anything else we think should go on there? LGBTQ. Now we did do the gays, specifically gays, and the reason for that was the community vote that we did. So I think we're good. We got Palestinians on there. Is that Looney Tunes? Let me know if I'm being an ignorant slut. Um, uh, uh, is that the Palestinian or Iraq flag? Do let me know. But we have Palestinians on there. Oh, rural progressives. Oh Lord. Okay, yeah. True. I'm as cosmopolitan of progressive as you could hope for. Um, the only sound I'm hearing that you're hearing is my microphone. So did you not hear music? That's interesting. Anti-corporatist. Why Kenyans? Well, let me tell you the story behind that. Originally, it's not actually because there was a recent news item in Kenya. There was. Uh, there was major protests in Kenya. It's something we can talk about. That was in there before the protest happened. And the reason why is because I initially was putting black people in. And then I was thinking, well, uh, that that's the whole planet. Like that's literally everywhere where there are humans, there are black folks. It's going to be that's too wide. How do you appeal to literally? So I just said let's do a specific country with a majority black population and I picked Kenya. And then also because I am a big fan of just a band from Kenya. So I guess there was an internal bias. But then there was some news that happened in Kenya, and I get to look like I was on top of it. I've just ruined that. But for people that tune in later, they'll think I'm very worldly. That's why. That's the whole story. All right. Miss Jen, if we'll do LGBTQ plus as a broad cat. You know what? You know what? We're doing it. We're doing it. I feel like uh some good points were brought up during the debate that have made me feel comfortable because of passing, as was brought up. Putting that up there, but I will maintain. I refuse to give up my Bowie crush, and I'll also add in who's another one who is just a flat yes to? Because Bowie's dead. That's sort of a paper tiger. Who's a flat yes? Now hear me out. Channing Tatum. I know it seems obvious, but not Channing Tatum before that Apocalypse movie that he was in. When he was able, or no, you know what? Not Channing Tatum before the cop movie he was in that was based off that Johnny Depp show. Um, when he was able to laugh at himself, then I was like, I could see myself going on a date with this fella. So there we go. I refuse to give up Tatum. I refuse to give up Bowie. But I will grant that I am not truly living life like a member of that community, and so they're on the board. All right. Without further ado, ladies and gents, we gonna spin this wheel, and we're gonna see who your old pal Jake is gonna try to appeal to. Remember, if I get it wrong, call in. Let me know. Or if you're just feeling brave and you want to take a whack at appealing to these folks, if you think you can do a better job, call in. Let me know. Here we go. And it's spinning. Who do we have? Ah! The Kenyans. Okay, I got to try to appeal to Kenyans. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Well, first of all, Kenyans, how are you? Second of all, the best song by Just a Band is Ha Hey. I realize that's probably not that controversial, so I'll throw this at you as well. The best music video by Just a Band is also Ha Hey. That's right. Makmende Jarumbi? I'm not quite sure how it goes. But anyway, it's facts. The best song and video by Just a Band is Ha Hey. What else? I bet it sure sucks that a bunch of centrist types in your country just tried to raise taxes, and then when people protested about it, the man turned things violent. I can sympathize with that. Yeah, that sucks. For those of you that didn't know, I'm going to pull up a Reuters article so I get it right. But the broad Kenyan protest. The broad situation is this: uh, there was recently a spike in there was a finance bill that passed. This is me trying to go off the dome. Uh, that proposed tax hikes for average Kenyans, and there were protests from activists about that decision. Uh, President William Ruto withdrew that finance bill, fortunately, and said he would listen to young people. This is from Reuters. A day after Parliament was briefly stormed and set ablaze, and 23 people were killed in clashes with police. There shouldn't have been clashes with police. There just shouldn't have been. There should not be violence against your own people when they disagree with you. Now, that said, obviously, as an American, I think storming Parliament is not okay. Setting Parliament ablaze, not okay. But it's just a building, and there was no need to kill people over it. At least 2 more people were killed, and 7 others sustained gunshot wounds during smaller demonstrations in several major towns and cities on Thursday, as the army was deployed to assist police. Again, these are people protesting taxes, essentially. There's no need for that. For some protesters, Rudo's eventual climb down came too late. A pamphlet shared widely online Friday called for 7 days of activism, including countrywide strikes and the blocking of major roads on July 2nd and July 4th. So, my opinion, and the opinion I think that Kenyans will hopefully appreciate, is that there's no need for the government to commit violence against its citizens over something like a proposed tax hike, which they withdrew anyway. Now, I'm going to be a little controversial and throw this at you. I think taxes, by and large, are a good thing. And I don't know enough about Kenya to say, oh, well, there should just be taxes on big corporations instead of the little guy. I don't know enough about it. So, if you're a Kenyan, do please let me know if I got it right or wrong. The other thing I've offered is that Hahe is the best song and music video by Just a Band Kenya. And if you want to call in to tell me I'm right, that's fine. If you want to call in to tell me I'm wrong, you're wrong, and I'll explain to you why. Now, just based on the analytics of the stream, there's probably not going to be any Kenyans calling in, because I think in the history, I looked through out of curiosity, in the history of this channel, one Kenyan watched. One. So it's unlikely they're watching today. So I'm going to turn to the Wicked community and see how they feel that I did. Miss Jen, whammy. All right. Yeah, it feels good. Tinkerbell, uh-oh. Thin ice, buddy. Thin ice. Want to remind everybody, the tagline of Wicked Diversity Squad is be real careful. Miss Jen, want me to smack him, Pinky? Ah! Wait. Looney Tunes 9000, spin or solve? Well, I tried to solve it. I think I've solved Kenyans. Literally every Kenyan. All right. Is there a D? Well, there's Democrats. 1D, correct. All right, so let's I should probably set this up beforehand. I know for next time. I'm going to start this as a poll. Did Jake successfully appeal to Kenyans? We're going to start that poll. Let me know in the comments through the poll on our YouTube channel if you think that we've successfully appealed to the people of Kenya. I hope we did. If not, we'll always be happy to try again until we get it right. Not this time. We're going to spin again in a moment. As soon as this poll is done, I will spin again. Also, if anybody thinks that they're going to do a better job than me of appealing to one of these groups, feel free to use the link in the chat to call on in, and you can take a whack at it. It'll be fun, and it might ruin your life. It'll be a hoot either way. Miss Jen, no. Once is enough. Yeah, that's fair. That's a good idea. All right. Poll's been up for about 60 seconds. I'm going to assume, oh my God, we're tied in the poll right now. 50% yes, 50% no. Oh, can we get one more vote? You know what? It's dramatic like that, though. It is dramatic. I'm going to wait another 10, 15 seconds. The more I think about it, the more I'm okay with it being tied. Oh, and it's tied. So, Looney Tunes, so sorry. No. It's okay. I need brutal honesty from you. Don't make me feel good. Make me correct. The Wicked community split on whether or not we've successfully appealed to Kenyans. Noted, I'll get some more Kenya-specific news for the future. In the meantime, we have somebody joining us. Let's take a quick break to say hello to Bob Carmody. Bob, how are you?
Hey, Jake. Actually, I was calling in because no camera, please.
Oh, no
I look
camera. Okay.
I look like hell.
Well, are you good like this?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't. What do I could put avatars and crap or whatever. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, it's just so we can have your audio on.
forget about it. Forget about it. Yeah. Actually, I was calling in because I thought we could talk a little about defending Republicans.
Ooh, defending Republicans. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I'm slipping into my Trump impression.
Fair enough. Well, let me ask you this, Bob. Do you want to spin the wheel and take a whack at appealing to one of these groups? Or do you want to just talk about whatever?
I'll take option 3, being lowered into a pot of boiling oil. Is that available? No.
Sure.
No. I'll take a spin of the wheel. Why not? I have no idea what I'm doing, but let's go.
Excellent. Okay. So I'm going to put up my screen for a moment. We're going to spin the wheel and we'll see what you get. I truly wish you luck. Stand by while we spin. All right. Bob's ready to go. And we're transitioning, spinning the wheel. It looks like. Oh, you lucky son of a bitch. Bob's job here is to say something that will appeal to Sam Cedar. So anybody who's Sam Cedar out there, Bob, it's your job. It's your
Wow.
job to appeal to them.
Oh my
You're
goodness. I feel so lucky and so honored to have this position, to be able to defend someone as troublesome as Sam Cedar. I mean, there's so many things that I have to apologize for him to anyone who I'm going to try and appeal to.
Yeah.
So am I appealing to Sam, or am I appealing to people who are fans of Sam?
Really, it's Sam Cedar himself. Any Sam Cedars out there, it's your job to try to appeal to them. Now, you could do that by appealing to their fans, sure, but anything you think they'll take an interest
in. Well, I mean, Saul was, Sam is certainly interested in breeding new talent. I don't know if you heard Saul, his son was on the air on Friday. It was very, very, very enlightening. We found out that Saul is just as much of a wise guy as his dad is.
True.
So
he was busting his chops, something fierce as well. My God.
Yes, and which is exactly what you would expect of a child of Sam, I believe, because of his self-deprecating wit is one of his charms. The fact that he's not, his skin is very thick and he doesn't fold easily, and that's probably one of the reasons we all dig him so much. He doesn't back down, and so. Plus, we the chat make sure that he's always on topic and that errors are corrected and that kind of stuff. So you should watch the Majority Report. Is that did I do my job?
I feel like you did. I feel like that was a great pitch. If there's any Sam Cedars in the audience that want to call in and tell us if Bob Carmody did a good job of appealing to Sam Cedars, they're welcome to, or tell us how we could have done better.
Any Sam Cedars, I'd be happy to talk to you and discuss this with you.
Sure. And of course, if anybody in the audience wants to call in and do a better pitch, they think they've got a better pitch than we had. I'm not going to let you be up here alone, Bob. I'm going to do my best pitch.
Well, I certainly appreciate that. Certainly appreciate that, Jake. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Look, I think that having lost to David Feldman in the race for subscribers is not that big of a shame, frankly.
Well,
I mean, it's a little sad. It's a little sad, but David Feldman being a bit of a centrist, you'd think we could appeal more to progressives, but Feldman, I think, had the better set, at least originally. I think Feldman just had a sharper setup, and there's no shame in losing to the best. So,
well,
like
you
many
know, I
Sam
mean,
Cedars.
now let's be real about this. I mean, I don't think Sam would hire his nephew to make coffee mugs and T-shirts that misspell Sam's name.
You know what? I said the wrong person. I was saying Feldman. I meant Packman. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
David Packman.
oh, okay.
Now I really angered.
Well,
Hopefully,
now you will never get the contract to do shirts for David Ferdman.
I love David Ferdman. I'm a huge fan of Ferdman.
We all
I've
agree.
got
We all agree.
a
We all
filtration
agree.
mask. Yeah. But no. I meant Packman. Packman
Oh,
had the superior set. He had a good
now
idea that I
hold on.
think.
Now hold on a second.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but Sam actually helped Pac-Man. Pac-Man went to Sam and said, "Hey, how do you do that back? How did you do that background?" And Sam actually helped him to create that background long ago. Now
Oh,
Pac-Man's got his desk and everything. But yes, Sam voluntarily helped Pac-Man get that set and
now see,
create that set.
I was under the impression that Packman had such a good set that he gave his old stuff to the Majority Report, and that they just are
Now
using
hold
his
on.
hand
No,
me
no,
down.
no, 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 no. How long you been watching Majority Report? They've had that set forever, and then Pac-Man came around and stole it.
Mm.
Well, you know,
Well, look, I'm not going to definitely say one way or the other. I'll leave it open to any representatives of the Sam Cedar community to call in and straighten us out if we got it wrong.
yeah, I'm open to being wrong and corrected, but I don't think I am. So damn it.
In the Jason Hatfield with the Feldman deep cut in the Immortal Words of Socrates.
Yes.
Yeah. If you know, you know.
Yes.
All right, tell you what, Bob. Here's
Thanks,
my
Jake.
plan.
Yes, Jake.
Having gone through the gauntlet and been brave enough for this, you're welcome to stay on as long as you want. I'm going to roll again on the wheel, and this time I'll take the lead. You can either chime in or not, or if you're like, that's enough for me, it's fine as well. Our goal is to hopefully get a diverse squad up here. But my point is, you're welcome to stay and comment as you please, but you're not obligated. And I also think part of the fun will be if I land on one of these and you say, no, wait, no, it's all you. Go enjoy, buddy. Throw me under the bus as you please. Is my
Well. I fit Irish and gay, so we can, if any of those is landing on, I'll bring the punches.
Oh, excellent. So you can correct me as it turns up.
Yeah.
I'm I'm gonna take a whack then. God, I hope it lands on one of those. I'm gonna roll this puppy again, and we'll see how it does. Stand by while I go solo mode for a moment.
Right on.
All right, it was a successful round one. Let's see if we can really end some careers here with round two of Wicked Diversity Squad. We're spinning the wheel, and it is Democrats. I feel like that's the most boring one there is. Uh, do we even want? Do we even want to? Oh no, I clicked it again. Whoopsie doodles. Vote blue in 2024. There. Hey, rural progressives. Sorry I wussed out on that one. It was more frustrated out. All right, you know what? I'll pitch both. Rural progressives and Democrats. Rural progressives. Here's what I think. Wait, I don't want to go on solo mode. Here's what I think, rural progressives. Here's my pitch to you. For things that you'll find interesting. It sucks to be surrounded by people that are voting against their own best interests and are angry at you for the problems they're causing. I can certainly sympathize with that. And it equally sucks that the party you have to offer them as the way out are the Democrats. The Democrats. Because they are a corporate run party, just like the Republicans are a corporate run party. And it makes it very difficult for you to say life will be different if you vote for this person, because when you hold up the two next to each other, their talking points are so similar because they are both afraid of offending the people that are causing the problems. Rural progressives, the good news is we are now building non-political means for you to better your lives, mainly through the popularization of unions. So, because unions are getting more and more popular, you are able to actually affect life in your area, and hopefully, you are able to show your neighbors that there are ways to succeed, to govern, to organize your lives that don't revolve around you burning a cross in somebody's yard, and do actually make your lives better. Rural progressives. Did I get it? If you are a rural progressive, I ask you to call in and let us know. Bob, do you have anything you want to add for the rural progressives pitch?
Move. Move. That's I grew up in North Jersey, so I'm a city boy. Lived
Fair.
in Roanoke, Virginia, for my radio career for a couple of years,
Oh,
and then in Knoxville, Tennessee, for other reasons. And I was like, oh my God, it's so white. It's so white down here. When I moved down there, I'm like, how different can people be? And I'm like, oh, well, now I found out. So after that, I moved. I'm here in Philly, and I've been here for 20 years. So I have nothing to say to rural progressives except move. And especially being a gay person, I got to be where other people are. I need a larger number of people to have around. So,
yeah. Now wait a minute. That's interesting. What I just said yeah out of hand because I was assuming more people equals more left politics, but that might not be it. What is
I
it you
was,
meant by that?
I really, what I meant by that was more people, a larger percentage of gay people to meet.
True, true.
That's what I'm talking about.
You got to be able to get into a relationship with the knowledge that if it doesn't go well, there's another option somewhere in town.
And just to be able to be accepted, and not have to worry about that.
Oh, that is. I'm sad that in 2024 that's a factor, but it is. God. Well,
Yeah, it
fair
is.
enough. I got to tell you, man, I really sympathize with the whole taking a job in a radio station in a red part of the state, or in a red area. I did the same thing. I was in Grand Haven, which is Trump country, frankly, and I had literally the same thought you did. Like, well, how bad can it be? And yeah, the irony was there was people. So the population on average in Grand Haven was over 50, which means if you're including all the high school kids, you get a sense of how old that area is.
Yeah. Okay.
And the town was literally sinking into Lake Michigan from global warming and the erosion that had come from that. And despite that, I kept hearing people yell at me every time I would do it. Like, my job was just to read the news. It wasn't even an opinion show. It was literally just to read what was happening. And I would get
Okay.
people yelling at me. They'd say like, I love your program, but why are you doing all these Democrat talking points?" When I was saying like, COVID, folks, be careful. It sucks.
Yeah. Well, I, it's an atmosphere that was not conducive to me. You know,
Okay, okay.
my parent, you know, I grew up in a city atmosphere. There were plenty of minorities at my school. You know, I grew up with, you know, good parents who taught me to just respect other people. So, you know, skin color doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's other people. Um, so rural progressives, stop looking at all the white people around you and stop listening to all the white people around you.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they're progressive, odds are they already
Oh, that's
are.
true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. That's right.
Well, we have another guest joining. First of all, I want to say Pinkerbell dealing with the same problem in her area. Good luck, my friend. And we've got another guest joining us. I want to invite to the stage, longtime friend of the show as well. AC, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing okay.
I
You?
Fantastic. I'm enjoying Diversity Squad. I think we're. Do you have anything to add to rural
Wait,
progressives, or
you actually
you're ready for another spin?
Let me put on these puppies.
Oh, sure. Ooh. Brother man, do you think do you have anything to add to rural progressives, or do you think we're ready for another spin?
Rural progressives. Well, I mean, you know, I'm basically a rural progressive. I'm just never home. So,
Did we nail it?
Now I
Then?
need these to. I don't know, dude. I
You
was
feel-
eating a chimichanga.
Yeah, that's about right. That's about
Yeah.
right. Well, fair enough. Then here's the deal. Because you guys, well, I'll leave it to you, AC. Are
Yeah,
you?
Spin the wheel.
Would you like? You want to? All right. Do you want to take this one, or do you want to just let whoever feels like
Sure.
they've got something?
Well, I mean, whoever feels like it, I guess. What do we got?
Okay. That's what we're gonna do then. I'll spin the wheel, and whoever feels like they've got something, we'll go with that. All right, here we go. Taking myself off the screen for a moment. And I'm gonna add if it's already been up, if we've already done it, then I'm gonna take it off the board. So I'm actually gonna take off. We're gonna keep Sam Cedars up because I just want to. I feel like I already appealed to the Democrats. And
I cheated.
oh, you're muted. Okay.
No,
Well, I'll tell you what. Oh, you cheated.
Because I got Sam seated.
Oh, that was just beautiful luck. Okay. Here we go. We're going again. Spinning this thing.
Wow, that's gonna give me a seizure.
Tick, 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 tick,
Oh, for
tick,
sure.
tick, tick.
Japanese, interesting.
Japanese people. Do you
Oh, boy.
feel that you can appeal? Does anybody feel like they've got an appeal to the Japanese?
Nope.
I got nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
All right.
Not even
I mean, anime and manga is cool, but you know, they already got that. We could tell them that the South Koreans have a declining birth rate greater than theirs. Maybe that would appeal to them.
There you go. You want to talk about that for 30 seconds?
Well, no, it was just the thing I was reading earlier. The South Koreans are now having, 0.34 kids per person. So, you know, in another 3 generations at that rate, they'll be down to 4% of their current population.
So, Japan, some of your neighbors, declining birth rate. That's possibly of interest to you. Let me throw this at you. I think that what's a Japan specific thing? Oh, do you miss being the villain in American movies? You remember in the 90s when Japan was like the scary future awaiting all of us? Do you miss that? I think
that was like from the 40s on.
Oh, there was definitely a lot of that, but there was that like the big scare that the U.S. had in the like 80s and 90s where we thought Japan was going to take over everything, and that was apparently a nightmare for us. And
instead it was the Chinese.
Yeah, it wound up being the Chinese instead. That's got to be a bummer. Do you miss that? I would say this. I would miss it if America was the villain in a bunch of movies. I don't know. It's a little bit cool for people to be afraid of you, I guess.
Well, I mean,
but on the
we're
other
Americans.
hand,
We're the villains in everybody else's movies.
True. It's not cool like you want them to actually be in real life, but it's cool to be like having everybody think you're on the verge of taking over the world. Like that's at the very least, it's interesting. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. The mustache twirling.
We're going to take over the world, Mr. Bond.
Unfortunately, I mean, if there were movies that actually had the balls to say that about America, they'd probably be right these days. But then again, I don't know.
Oh, hey, you know what? As long as they don't say it in English, we'll never know.
Right.
The Israelis are learning this.
We can't be bothered to turn on subtitles. That's absolutely true.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's review what we've got. Missing pop culture stereotypes from the 80s and 90s a little bit. Just a little bit. Being mildly concerned by the population decline of a neighboring country. There's something. We know you know what it is. I know it sucks to always have manga and anime brought up, but let me throw this out there. It's sad to see Akira Toriyama pass. He was
true.
No matter how else you feel about that art style, he was one of the most well-known people cartoonists throughout the world. He's up there with like Mel Blanc and the rest. So
Chuck, well, Mel Blanc wasn't a cartoonist; he was a voice guy.
Voice actor. Good point. But up there in terms of fame relating to cartoons. So that sucks. I'm sorry, Japan.
You're despicable.
Sorry. God. Hey, at least we managed to do this whole thing without bringing up any of the horrible war crimes we did against each other. That was nice.
Now,
we almost got there.
Look,
if you're Japanese, do let us. I do want to do something in future iterations of this that I'm thinking would be funny. Guys, let me know what you think up here. Let me know what you think of it. Do you think we should have a yellow card system where other people can pause the person who's talking and be like, yellow card, I got this. Just give us a second. Like a warning, basically? Or is it just fun to let them dig their own grave? I think AC's switching his camera around.
Oh no, I signed in so I could comment. Can you hear me?
Thank you.
Yep.
Well, Japanese folks, if you think we've got it, or if you think we did a bad job, call in. Let us know, and we'll take a whack at doing better, or we'll listen to what you have to say. In the meantime, I think we might be ready for another spin. I think it's going well. Oh, wait a minute. We have to ask the Wicked community. Wicked community, we're going to do a poll. I forgot to last time. We're going to do it again. Let's find out. Did this group of fellas, this diverse group that we've assembled, did we manage? Why
does Pinky have a swastika by her wrench?
Because of her strong opinions about, actually, funny enough, not Jewish people.
I did too, but now I don't. Weird.
Was there an actual swastika?
No, it's an S. I don't know what it means.
Oh,
you know what? It's the icon, but then I don't have that currently because I'm going through StreamYard. You live and you learn.
We're gonna find out. We're polling the Wicked community. Did we successfully appeal to the Japanese? That's the question I've asked. While we're waiting for the Wicked community to answer, how do you guys feel we did? I think we did, B+.
Well, I'm very excited to see the results, to see how many Japanese viewers you actually have with us this afternoon.
Well, I got to clarify. You don't have to vote in the poll if you're Japanese. It's purely the viewers that are watching.
Okay.
So if there's no Japanese viewers, then a bunch of non-Japanese people will be deciding this. And if you don't like that, I would encourage you to find some Japanese folks and get them to watch the stream.
Or we could just move the whole show to Japan. Wait.
Yeah, I mean, I'd still go on at the same time, but my IP address would change.
Yes, yes. Your address would change. A few other things would change, I'm sure.
And Japanese folks, if you're just listening quietly, but you don't feel like participating in any way, thank you for your patience. Or, as I would have said back when I was getting flipped with some regularity, arigato gozaimasu, mashite.
Yeah,
Where,
where's Saki Tanuki and Tokyo Hans when we need them?
right? And by the
Yeah.
way, you can be Japanese just by citizenship. We're talking. We're absolutely counting all
I
Japanese.
actually, you know what, saw a thing about that recently, and there's a girl that's half Japanese, but because she wasn't born there, she can't get citizenship, and they treat her like a gaijin.
I think you can be Japanese by citizenship or by genetics or adoption, or if you have a case to say you're Japanese, I think that's fine. Speaking of, fellas, we're basically the best squad for diversity ever because we just nailed it. Wicked Community just voted. 67% said, yes, sir. We successfully appealed to Japanese.
Those are great numbers. Those are great
Those are
numbers.
Our panel of white guys here.
Yep. So I think what we're learning here is that if you want diversity, the best thing to do, get a bunch of white folks together. Get a bunch of white folks together because we're going to knock them out of the park.
We've got gay, straight, and whatever Jake is.
It's hard to tell. It's even hard for me to tell.
No one can tell because he can't even tell.
All right, you know what? I want to roll with that a little bit. Because I think we had a member say they are a member of the LGBTQ plus community. So let me change that to deeply closeted gay people. It's too much. It's too much. I can't get it all in. I guess we'll just say closeted gay folks.
Tom Cotton,
I can't
Hawley.
see the comments and the screen at the same time. I don't like it.
Oh, it's maddening sometimes.
I'm watching.
Here's the thing.
No, you're confusing me with my co-driver. She's the one that's a lesbian trapped in a man's body. Okay.
I'm going to spin it again, and if, for example, it lands on deeply closeted gay people, if you're a deeply closeted gay person and you feel that we get it wrong, call in and tell us why we got it wrong. So deeply closeted gay folks are now on the wheel. Are you guys ready for another spin? I feel like we're on a winning streak. Let's roll again. What do you think?
Girl, let's spin that thing.
All right. And again, if anybody thinks they can do a good job of this as well, you can't do better. We're batting 1,000 right now. But if you think you can do just as well as us, feel free to call in. And especially if you're a member of one of these groups, feel free to call in and set us right. All right. We got another spin coming up, folks. We're gonna do 2 more for our test show here. So let's see what the first one is. Again, the groups are, we're keeping Sam Cedar on the board. Sam Cedar, Republicans, Palestinians, Irish, closeted gays. Let me just instead of closeted gay, I'm just gonna put an S on there because it's X. Closeted gays, the letter hacks, or Jews. All right, we're gonna spin this bad boy. Spinning.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Closeted gays.
Closeted gays.
All right.
I think he has a good point on that. They can't defend themselves because they're in the closet. Actually, you know what though? I will say this. Online, I know some people that are closeted IRL, like Badash 29. IRL, she's a man. Don't
out anybody.
No, she's super public about it. She's a trans woman.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
She's a pan trans woman, but she's in the closet, so she what do they call that? Appears male.
Okay, got you. Well, so if anybody wants to take a whack at appealing to somebody who is gay but is deeply in the closet about it and will never admit that they're gay, take a whack at it. And let me, if you don't mind, start by saying like, I already have one. I already have one ready to go.
Right? There you go. Me too. It's okay, Steven Crowder.
So the fine. That was.
Oh no.
Perfect. All right, yeah, let's just both go for people who might be deeply closeted. Boy, it's really unfair the way that your wife can record you smoking a cigar in front of her and abusing her and not letting her have the one car that you guys have, and then just release that when you lie about it. If there's any deeply closeted gentlemen that are, all right, you know what? I want to change tact. I'm going to try, because obviously that appeals.
Wouldn't that be a subset of Republicans?
True.
Oh yeah.
That's appealing more to Republicans.
That would be deeply closeted in the log cabin.
All right. Yep. Here's one that'll appeal to deeply closeted men. Boy, the suit scene where they're trying on different suits from The Man from U.N.C.L.E. That was interesting, wasn't it? Boy, Ryan Gosling was really funny in the Barbie movie, right? It was just funny. It was just fun to watch.
I got to see that
for
movie,
reasons we don't need to go into. Oh, he had a great comedic performance. He takes the shirt off a lot during it. Just for reasons we don't need to get into. Ryan Gosling's performance in the Barbie movie was fantastic. Anybody else have an appeal to somebody who's in the closet? Leave it. See, she gets it. She gets it. Yes.
There you go. Yeah, I can't top that one.
Let's workshop this. What do we think would appeal to somebody who's deep down gay but doesn't want to come out and say it? So
Jake,
they'd enjoy it.
You're going to get us canceled.
Yeah, I'm going to be canceled. I'm going to disconnect this call.
Yeah.
We got our first tap out. That's fine. For the record, it is fine to say, no way, good luck, fellas. That is okay.
I'm tapping out. Goodbye. Thank you.
See you, Bob.
Bye.
Does anybody else want to try to connect to
did Bob really just peace?
He might have. I'm not going to remove him. If he wants to stick around and pop back in, that's also fine. But it's fine to pass on these. You could just say, nope, pass. How about this? What's something that would... WNBA. If you are a lady and you enjoy women who are in relationships with each other having drama while also doing a sport,
right? I heard about that the other day. Did you hear about that the other day? Apparently, a lot of the ladies in the WNBA are exes.
Yeah,
it's a new angle on things.
Doesn't that add such an element of drama to these plays? You can have exes playing each other in a sport. You have people dating each other. You have people who cheated on each other with people on the other team.
It's like golf.
Fascinating. Oh, all right. Well, I feel like we basically nailed this one. I'm going to open it up. If anybody's deep in the closet, never wants to publicly admit that they are gay, but they are gay, I invite you to come on this public forum.
Well, I mean, all girls' sports are like that, actually. Well, no, it's not that it's surprising to me. I just had never thought about it, like that. Like I didn't, So there was some WNBA analyst that was talking about it the other day, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that would be a thing,
Yeah,
but I mean, aren't all women's sports like that, especially golf? Unibrow.
the issue shit. The issue is, I'm sure that there's tons of that in like men's sports, but culture has just been such that speaking of closeted fellas,
right.
Culture has just been such that like they can't come out and say it, or they'll lose sponsorships, or they'll get harassed, or whatever.
Fellas. Or like that one guy in the NFL, like, didn't he, like, I don't know, not get drafted or something?
Yeah,
someone was saying something about that the other day. I haven't been paying too much attention to the NFL recently.
My whole thing is
my team sucked for a while.
I'm hoping that we get more gay guys in these sports, so that like gay men in these sports, so that we have that same dynamic that is apparently present in the WNBA.
Now I don't think that's gonna happen.
Oh my God, there would be. I think the average fan,
this quarterback's always picking him off because they used to date.
Well, that's the thing is, I think the average fan, just like with the WNBA, wouldn't care at all. They wouldn't be tuning in for that. But I would be if Tim Tebow was once upon a time in a relationship with some other guy, and then he's playing him.
No, he probably was. That guy seems a little
maybe. But my point is, like, the public knowing that adds an element to the sport that's so interesting. It adds stakes to the competition that you're like, oh, I look forward to it. All right.
Pardon me if this is shaking around a bit. We're getting back on the freeway.
Oh, that's all good. And that's really interesting. You're Han Solo out there, man. I love it. So let's first put it up to the Wicked community. I'm going to start a poll, and I'm going to ask them.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Thank you, pro wrestling.
Oh my God, you're right. There has to have been. There just has to have been.
I don't know about that. Actually, you know what? I hate to admit it, but Joe Rogan does a good joke about that.
Well, what is it? I haven't watched Rogan in years.
Oh no, it was a long time ago. It was on his Netflix special from like 6 years ago, and he was just saying, look, I'm not saying that pro wrestling is gay. I'm just saying that in any other situation where two men in costumes and Speedos that are all oiled up, like, start clenching each other,
exactly,
it's going a different way.
There's definite appeal to, if you're a gay guy, or even if you're gay at all, there's huge appeal to that. And I don't mean like once you're a professional. I mean, like, for the same reason I came this close to joining the cheerleading team. Because you hang out with hot people that you're attracted to all day. That sounded great. I just didn't realize there was so much work involved. It's apparently really hard to cheer. Oh,
Fingerbell's right. Vince is terrible.
No, there absolutely
was. That was the joke,
Vince
Bob.
McMahon is. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Vince McMahon
is his own
P.
Diddy type dealio.
Oh, dude, for sure. I don't think the not even sport, the entertainment genre of pro wrestling needs to go away because one horrible person ran a horrible company. But I do think we should absolutely start looking at
didn't they merge with the UFC?
Maybe. I think that sounds. It sounds like the sort of thing that would happen. Dana White is a monster as well. I think we should take advantage of the fact that there's other places that offer this. Literally, there's like hundreds and hundreds of little pro wrestling or semi-pro wrestling organizations, and we live in the era of the internet. Anybody with a video camera can show us these matches. Let's see them.
I was catching up on The Boys recently.
Yeah.
And that really sends all that up,
Yes.
Like the guy comes out of freezing and he's like, the cause was a real man, Bill Cosby. And they're like, yeah, about that. And then, Homelander is, yeah.
Let me tell you, right now, you and I, and Bob Carmody as well, we're batting 1,000. We just got 73% said we successfully appealed to deeply closeted gay people. Now, I don't know why any deeply closeted gay folks didn't call in on our public show to tell us whether we did good or not. But, we don't need to worry about it because apparently we nailed it. You want to do the last one of the evening?
Sure, why not? When I lived in Danville, they had a bunch of the kids would have they'd go wrestle in backyards and get a bunch of people in and do the whole Fugazi element of it. Wheel of morality, turn, turn, turn. Show us the lesson that we must learn.
Well, tell you what, since we are going to do the last one of the night, I want to open it up right now to the audience. Audience, I want to totally change this wheel. Put your suggestions in the comments. I'm going to grab the first ones that I see. Anybody who you feel is not represented up here right now. The only one I'm going to insist on keeping is Sam Cedars. Because, we did a pretty good job, but there's a lot of Sam Cedars out there. So, in case we didn't.
There might even be two.
Ooh, there could be. All right, so we've got Italians. I see that.
Letter hackers.
Italians. I'm going to take Republicans, Jews, Palestinians off. Not that I don't think those groups matter, but because they've been up for a while.
Yeah. Jews
hippies.
Would probably get us canceled.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I could appeal to Jewish folks.
I'm pretty sure I would get canceled on that one, just on general principle right now.
I know what it's like to be hanging out on Christmas with no religious unicycle riders, rednecks. Oh, God, yes. I love it. Unicycle riders, rednecks.
Oh, hey, what's up, Patrick? Quibido. Yeah, I'm in
Patrick Quibido.
I'm in the back of the truck. Ukulele players.
The Wheel of Diversity is officially called the Quibido.
I feel like you're confessing there, Pinkerville. Did you know she's secretly a redneck unicycle riding ukulele player?
All right, folks, give us a dangerous one. Hold on. We've got florists, Italians, rednecks, hippies. Give us a dangerous one. Truly. Give us one that you think might make us nervous. Make it so that none of us want it to land on that. Pinkerbell says, I'm too short for a unicycle. I say, you just haven't found the right unicycle.
Yeah.
Bob Carmody says, really? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Bob. Make us sweat. Look, if we can't appeal to any group, it's a problem that we need to know about.
Little people?
Because we're sure. Because we are.
Because it's rude.
All right.
I think you appealed to them just by calling them little people and not midgets.
Bob Carmody is suggesting rapists. I like rap as much as anybody.
Nah, Bob.
But I feel like Kendrick has already taken the news cycle on that.
Right.
Short people. Okay. Yeah.
So just go with the feed files.
Yeah. And feed. Yeah. I definitely don't want to spend time on that.
Oh, dude. We're driving by a stockyard. Ugh.
Oh, no. Well, tell you what, buddy. I'm going to spin the wheel again. Here's what we got up here now. We're going to see what the last one of the night is. We have florists, Italians. Wait.
Italians.
Is there two L's in Italian?
No.
We're going to hopefully not leave that up too
Spell
long.
it Italians.
Italians.
That'd be funny.
Short people, Sam Cedars, rednecks.
I thought it was little
hippies.
people, not short people.
All righty. Little people it is. Unicycle riders and florists, which ironically is the one I'm most nervous about. Here we go. Rolling. And it is Italians. We must appeal.
Forget about it.
Italians. Oh, God. Okay. So, first of all, does anything jump to you?
Yeah, sure.
Carmody, little people is a
You
preferred
know,
term, actually.
just because you're in waste management doesn't make you a bad person.
Yeah. All right. No, I think you got it. Go ahead. Expand on that.
And,
So
you know,
you think
I don't care what they say about pizza being invented in the U.S. It was invented by Italian Americans.
I will also go the route of trying to piss off Italians to get them to call in. Look, does it matter that the Chinese invented noodles first? No. Does it matter that the Chinese generally have better food? No. What matters is you've got a strong national identity with the food you do have, making use out of other people's products, such as tomatoes and noodles and pizza.
And that spin-off series of The Sopranos was awesome.
Yes, probably the best Italian work of art ever.
Since The Godfather.
Since The Godfather. No,
and
I'm
Sergio
including
Leone.
The Godfather. Let me go even farther. I'm including
And the
Sergio
Mario
Leone.
movie.
I'm including The Godfather. I'm including the works of Da Vinci. I'm including the original Sopranos. The spin-off series of The Sopranos is the best. The spin-off movie thing is the best Italian contribution to art of all time. I think most Italians can agree with that.
The Sicilians were invaded by the Moors, black people. If you know, you know. It's a great movie. True romance.
Yes. But we're trying to appeal to Italians, and I think my point, for the record, before you get mad at AC, look at the movie. He's doing an in-joke for Italians. But
it's a great movie.
It is a great movie. But my appeal to Italians is to acknowledge the triumph they recently had of the sequel spin-off movie, prequel spin-off movie, The Saints of whatever, which is the best.
Oh, there actually was one? I thought I was just kidding.
No, there really was one, and it really was the best contribution to the arts that Italians have ever made.
Oh, now that's being offensive.
What? No, wait. Well, if you know what, if an Italian disagrees with me, I invite you to click on the link and let us know. I'm going to start a poll. We'll let other people speak for you for now. Did we successfully appeal to Italians? Oh, God. 1 second. No, I'm sorry, folks. I lost which tab I had open. Italians? Yes or no? So the poll's up. We're going to see if we can bat 1,000 tonight. I have to say, even if we don't make it, we did pretty good. We successfully appealed to Kenyans, rural progressives, Democrats, kind of. Who else did we get?
Oh, hey, Mary Trump agrees with you.
The Japanese. Hey, Mary Trump agrees with us.
She's still riding for Biden.
All right. And hopefully Italians. And I'll say
Mehdi Hassan does not agree with you.
That's a pretty diverse squad that we've got up there. Miss Jen, why are you ending the show now? This is fun. Well, because I don't know. I think it was a pretty good first run. But I also want to work on graphics. I want to work on, watch it back, see where we were slow, and see what we can improve. While we're waiting for the results of the poll, AC, are you okay with me saying your actual first name?
Sure, why?
Okay, Chuck, thank you for joining us, man. I did want to say it's a relief knowing there's folks in the crowd who are comfortable on camera, who they themselves have channels. If you guys enjoy seeing America through the eyes of someone who crosses it for a living, AC's got a channel. Go check it out. He muses.
Yeah, now that I'm driving
life.
again, I was on this morning. I was on last morning for a little bit, and I'll be on tomorrow morning too. Probably Monday morning too. Although it's getting a little boring for me because we're on dedicated route, so all we ever do is go back and forth between Wisconsin, Missouri, and Utah. We're going to Utah right now, and then we're going to Missouri, and then we're going to Wisconsin, then we're going to Missouri. They allegedly have a depot in Dallas. We've never been there.
Only in America.
And one in Pennsylvania, and we have been there, and that's in the sticks of Pennsylvania, I tell you what.
Only in America could someone sincerely utter the sentence, "We are only going from Utah to Missouri."
Well, no, it's not. It's like it's always the same route. They want us to take the same route.
No, I get
so you take the 80 to the 29. I mean, it's pretty boring.
It's such a massive amount of distance that it makes me appreciate what is unique about this country. And don't come to Dallas. It's a billion.
It's pretty warm in Missouri right now too, Picky. We ended up resetting there the last couple of times, and we were just like, you got to be fucking kidding us. It's like 95 degrees with 130% humidity. Like I got up at my normal early hour the other morning, and I'm like, is this fog? And it was, but it was humidity fog. I'd never seen that before. It's like the dew point was like 100 or something stupid like that.
That sounds apocalyptic. Well, buddy, I've got great.
I posted some things, Looney. I just hadn't made them public yet because I've been busy. I've been driving.
I have some fantastic news for you, sir. We have aced it tonight. The Wicked community just completed the poll, 100% saying yes. We successfully appealed to Italians.
But were any of them Italian?
Maybe. We don't know. But it's irrelevant, because if there were Italians that wanted to say something, there was an open channel. But I just assume that if they didn't, we nailed it. So to my old coworker, Miss Perverini, you're welcome. You're welcome. And to all the people who we have attempted to represent, hopefully we did good. If we didn't, I invite you to tune in next time for Wicked Diversity Squad. AC, thank you for joining us tonight. I'm going to end our guest portion. I'll see you, my friend.
Okay.
Anti-corporatist. Yeah. Got it. All right, folks. That was Diversity Squad. As you may know, we're trying out a few new types of shows here because our hope is to appeal to wide audiences and talk about progressive politics wherever we get the chance. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments so I know to keep doing it. I'm going to try to invite some folks from around the internet, and I'm going to show them this so that they know that there's nothing really to be afraid of. We're just doing our best to make friends. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. We're going to wrap it up, and I'm going to leave it with an audio test. Hopefully you hear Donald James X right now. But regardless, thank you for joining me. We'll see you next time.